Welcome to a little tutorial on the use of MyMCPS to build workflows using modules. There may be some of you in the audience who currently use MyMCPS and you provide your students access to class materials. It might be that you post your class notes. Hopefully some of you use the calendar feature for assignments. You may provide within that links to the actual documents that contain the assignments, and some of you may administer quizzes. But the audience may not just include people who use MyMCPS, it may include people who are now solely using Google Classroom, and you are watching this video because you are looking to create a workflow for your students, and you may even think that this might be the right time to migrate to the county chosen platform of Canvas. So just to make sure we're on the same page of what a workflow is, it is a sequential series of steps. It's what we do when we create our lesson plans. We know what steps we want the students to take in order to convey the material we have to them and to check for their understanding and assess them. A workflow is an orderly process, at least when we talk about it online, for students to move through. And they may be used to, you may use a workflow to move through an entire unit, or maybe simply through a daily lesson. MyMCPS, which is the use of Canvas, uses something called modules. The key components of these modules include content presentation, such as that which you might have in a PowerPoint or Google Slides. You may use videos, either ones that you've created or those that are found on the internet, and they can be your voice. We would simply talk about a lecture, but in the context of Canvas, they would be audio recordings you can use to present content. Part of Canvas is our modules, or in these modules, are a way to have the students build their own knowledge through the use of interactive activities, ungraded assignments, and even collaborative group work. Within a module, and within any workflow, we are checking for understanding, either formally or informally, through quizzes, assignments, and discussions. Presenting a workflow in Canvas requires us to understand that Canvas is set up through different components. When I use Canvas, I may use it to create pages to present material to students. I may create quizzes to assess them, assignments to see where they are, and discussions to get them to interact with each other. And all of these components and modules, and they're called pages, quizzes, assignments, discussions, are only select components. There are more than these, but those are the ones I'd like to focus on today. These components don't have to be created. If you already have files on your Google Drive or elsewhere that you can access through a link, you can put those into any Canvas component. For example, you may have an assignment on your Google Drive that can be linked to or embedded into a Canvas component called Assignments. Okay. So when I first started out learning all this stuff, I wasn't quite sure what the difference was between something that was embedded and something that was linked. So to be clear, an embedded file, if I talk about embedding it, it will actually display the file or play the video right within Canvas. Or if you use a Google slide or PowerPoint, you might embed a file to play right within the slide that the students are viewing. A link is when you redirect the user to that content, wherever that content is stored. That content may be stored on a Google Drive, it may be stored in your folders, it may be stored on the internet, but the student is leaving whatever application you have them in and linking to that. So I try to minimize that when I create these modules and these workflows to keep the students as directed as possible. Okay, so I'm going to